Hey everyone, it's Michelle Rojas. I realized I went over my first impressions of Cardcaptor Sakura the other day, but I didn't go over my first impressions of two of my other assignments, Junji Ito Collection and Basilisk Ouka. So these are my first impressions of those titles from a person that isn't familiar with those properties. I wasn't sure how I was going to handle Junji Ito Collection because I do not do well with horror. If you saw my playthrough of Doki Doki Literature Club, you know that I scare very easily. But as far as the first episode went, it was actually pretty funny. Of course, I have to do research on my titles, so as I was looking through all of his different works, I found that some of his stories are actually comedic horror works rather than just horror works. This episode in particular was focused on a character that tries to scare and creep people out, but usually fails in some way or another. I know that some fans of Junji Ito's work were a little disappointed that that's what they chose to use for the first episode, but personally I like the idea that there's going to be some variation in this series. It had more of a campsite ghost story type feel to it rather than like a jump scare, gory filled horror. It seems to rely more on the story being scary enough rather than trying to hit you with visuals. So I really liked that about it. Basilisk Ouka was another title that I didn't know anything about, though I needed to know a couple of characters from the previous series to get through my script. I think as a viewer, you're gonna be fine to watch this without having watched the first series. Basically, in the first series, there were two different ninja clans and they were warring against each other. And now 10 years later, the war is no longer happening and everybody's trying to get along. Characters from the first series aren't really mentioned and they don't play any sort of large role in this series. So if you were thinking about checking this out but didn't want to watch an entire series of another anime, you're not gonna have to. I will say there are a ton of characters in this series, so when they jump from place to place, it can be a little difficult to keep up with what they're doing. There's a lot of that sort of thing where this person belongs to this clan and this person is part of this lord's family and things like that are going on. But as the episode progresses, you kind of get a better feel for the state of things. There is a lot of action in it, so if you're an action person, this might be a series for you. Personally, there were a lot of characters that I liked quite a lot, and I like the historical aspect of it as well. I do see this being a series that I actually enjoy as I work on it. To finish off this video today, I do have one more assignment this season, and that is Overlord II. Overlord is another show that I have not seen all of. I've seen the first couple of episodes of it, and I did like it a lot, I just never finished it. Luckily for this show, Funimation also did the first season, so I do already get all of those character sheets and everything for that, so my research for it isn't quite as in-depth as I usually have to do. Since I am having to work on this season, and I do actually want to watch this show, I guess I'm going to have to binge Overlord now. I know a lot of fans wanted a dubbed second season, so I'm glad Funimation was able to get the license for it. That's it for me, so as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.